How do you build a skyscraper only 57 feet wide and 1,428 feet tall? How is this even possible?
Wait, that yellow taxi is exactly as wide as the 1,428-foot skyscraper next to it. That 800-ton steel weight is swinging right now because the wind is trying to snap this tower. They deliberately left entire floors completely empty, just so the wind can blast straight through. Look straight down. There is nothing but a terrifying drop to the Manhattan pavement below. 200 steel anchors are drilled into bedrock. They don't hold it up, they pull it down. 7 years, a gap between buildings, the world's thinnest skyscraper. This is how it happens. Everyone else gets a clean site. They get an immovable 90-year-old landmark in the way. Steinway Hall is where Glenn Gould plays his last concert. They cannot touch one stone of it. The only buildable land sits in a 57-foot strip. That strip becomes the world's thinnest skyscraper. A 1:24 slenderness ratio means wind doesn't push this building. It tries to flip it over. 57th Street is a wind tunnel between two avenues. Steinway Tower sits in the barrel.
Anchors hold it down, shear walls hold it up. The damper kills the shaking.
They pay $131 million for empty air above someone else's roof. That is New York City. The shovel hits the ground, 12 inches away, a fragile 90-year-old landmark. This is the danger. Under every building in Midtown Manhattan, solid bedrock. The drill is fighting through 30 feet of it. They demolish everything to within 1 foot of that limestone facade. 1 foot, not one more. But there is one massive problem. Steinway Hall's 90-year-old footings sit directly in the foundation zone. The new caissons thread between 90-year-old footings. Old and new foundations locked together, permanently. The excavator swings in a 57-foot site with a 90-year-old landmark 12 inches from its bucket. The drill goes 100 feet into solid Manhattan schist. That is 10 stories below the street. That rebar cage is 100 feet long. They lower it into the ground whole, then pour concrete.
Every caisson here carries the load of 20 normal ones. The site is too narrow.
Wait until you hear this. These anchors don't hold it up, they hold it down. 30 meters of steel tendon bonded to rock with epoxy. That anchor is now Manhattan. The drill just hits a fracture in the bedrock. The anchor is off alignment. The grout won't hold. Seal the fracture with pressurized grout. Let it cure. Re-drill through the sealed rock. Start again. 200 anchors, 600 kips each, pinned to bedrock, held down before it is built up.
The building tries to lift. The rock says no. That is the entire system.
36 inches thick, 57 feet wide, 1,428 feet tall. The thinnest shear wall ever at this height. 14,000 pounds per square inch concrete, 4 times stronger than normal. The only mix strong enough for a 57-foot skyscraper. 5.5 million feet of rebar going into these two walls. Enough to circle Manhattan 200 times. 1 floor every 5 days. The formwork climbs itself. The concrete sets. The wall grows.
36 inches at the bottom, 16 at the top. Wind moment is biggest at the base.
14,000 pounds per square inch concrete placed in 12-inch lifts. Internal vibrator every 18 inches. No voids allowed. None. The formwork is cracking under 14,000 pounds per square inch fresh concrete. If that panel blows, the pour stops forever. Emergency tiebacks welded in 20 minutes. The form holds. The pour resumes from exactly where it stopped. Core plus 2 shear walls equals 1 giant I-beam, 57 feet wide. That is it. The concrete gets weaker as the building rises, because the wind forces do too. Every floor calculated. At floors 38 and 70, Outrigger walls tie both shear walls together. 2 walls become one.
This outrigger connects both shear walls. The building now acts 180 feet wide instead of 57.
The piano showroom is open above. Below it, micropile rigs are working. Nobody upstairs hears anything. Walk 1 block north and this 1,000-foot tower disappears. It is so thin it hides behind buildings. 0.8-inch lean at floor 22. On a 57-foot tower that compounds floor by floor. Correct it now. 2 lifts, 0.4 inches south each time. The wall is straight again by floor 25. Crisis over. Here is the crazy part. 2 entire floors are left completely open. Wind passes through.
Stand here. The wind goes through the building instead of around it. That stops shaking.
April 2019. The concrete tops out at floor 85. A 57-foot blade now visible from New Jersey. 1.1 inches of deviation over 435 meters. On a 57-foot wide building. That is the limit of precision.
Floor 36, 14,000 psi, 4 meters deep. 1 shot. You cannot fix an outrigger wall twice.
A 200-ton steel truss is spinning in the wind above Manhattan. 4 ironworkers catch it by hand. Above the concrete, structural steel. The crown gives the building its final silhouette against the sky. Flatbed trucks deliver massive steel sections at 3 a.m. Because 57th Street has no room during the day. That embed plate was cast 2 years ago. The outrigger bolts onto it today. Perfect fit. The bolt holes do not align. The embed shifted 0.6 inches 2 years ago. No going back. Slotted holes take the 0.6-inch offset. Torque to 880 foot-pounds. Accepted. It becomes permanent.
Every wind force from 60 floors above passes through this one truss.
The spire is an aircraft navigation reference. The FAA requires it at this exact height and position. Sub-zero temperatures at 1,200 feet. Ironworkers bolt spire sections by hand. Welcome to Billionaire's Row. 14 elevators in a 57-foot wide tower. 2 of them open directly into the apartment. No corridor. Ever. An 800-ton steel box inside the top of a 57-foot tower. Ready to swing. 26 custom terracotta shapes. 6 color variations. Every single panel custom fired in Germany. For New York. Every other supertall on this street is glass. Shop chooses terracotta and bronze. On purpose. The clay goes in gray. The kiln fires at 1,100 degrees Celsius. The terracotta comes out golden. Steel clips to aluminum rails to the shear wall. That terracotta panel hangs from nothing free. 7 setbacks, 7 unique edge profiles. Not one of them exists in any terracotta catalog anywhere. 7 new extrusion dies, 500 sample panels each. 0.5 millimeters tolerance. Made only for this building. No scaffolding on a 57-foot Manhattan site. Workers hang terracotta from the building's own cleaning track.
Quarter-turn lock. That panel is now permanently attached to a 1,428-foot skyscraper. Forever.
The setbacks make the building disappear into the sky. Look up. Watch it dissolve. The bronze panels between the terracotta are hand-finished at a Brooklyn foundry. For this one building. The north face is perfectly straight, no setbacks, no steps. One unbroken plane from street to sky. The corners are three-dimensional curved terracotta, not a miter cut, a curve, designed and fired individually. Galvanic corrosion at floor 45, bronze meets aluminium, two dissimilar metals reacting. The connection is failing. Neoprene washer between every bronze and aluminium contact breaks the galvanic circuit. Corrosion stops. Floor-to-ceiling glass, north and south. Central Park one side, Manhattan the other. 57 feet wide. No north or south cladding on the mechanical floor. Wind hits it and goes right through.
Those terracotta fins make a 57-foot building look even thinner. Shadow creates the illusion.
The terracotta skin wraps the concrete, but sealing the massive glass windows creates a deadly new problem. A door just ripped from a worker's hands on floor 40. The building is a chimney. This building acts like a chimney. Pressure at the top tries to blow every door off. 100 pascals of air pressure. Every door above floor 60 is rated for half that. 120 pascal rated closers. Lobby pressurization system. The doors open with one hand again. Problem solved. A 500-pound glass panel just became a deadly sail at 700 feet. 3 men fight it. 35 miles per hour winds push 800 pounds sideways on a glass panel. Installation is dangerous every afternoon. Only between 6 a.m. and 9 a.m. Meteorologist confirms the window, then the glass goes up. No exceptions. The pipe at floor 70 just exploded. Pumping water 700 feet high destroys standard pipe. 300 psi at the pump. Standard pipe is rated for 140, twice the limit. It fails. 6 pressure zones. Booster pump every 14 floors. No pump ever exceeds 200 pounds per square inch. The pipes survive. The elevator rail has a 12mm bow from the building swaying. A car hitting this derails. 20 feet per second, 12mm bow, 3,000 pounds of impact. The car is about to derail. Spring-loaded guides absorb 25mm of rail deviation. Active monitoring catches the next one before it matters.
Feel this bow. In a swaying building, the elevator rails must flex constantly. Rigid ones break, always.
The crane that built this building is now trapped on the roof. No way down. Traditional crane jumping needs more building width. This building is 57 feet wide. The crane is stuck. Build a smaller crane to dismantle the big one, section by section down the east face. The last crane section reaches the street. 57th Street reopens. The roof is finally clear. That water is a battering ram, a 75-foot wave machine on floor 17 of a skyscraper. If the pool and the building resonate together, the water destroys the floor beneath. Simple physics. The pool's 6.8 second slosh is too close to the building's 7.5 second sway. 3-foot standing waves form. Perforated steel baffle cuts the wave from 3 feet to 4 inches. The floor survives. A 2-ton marble bathtub is swinging 800 feet above 57th Street. 2 workers are reaching for it. The bathtub is longer than the elevator. The only way in, an open panel at 800 feet. 800 feet of exterior hoist. 2 workers guiding 2 tons through an open panel, in wind. The dome comes off, stripped, re-gilded, reinstalled. The 1960s ceiling hides 100-year-old plasterwork beneath. The lobby floor is base isolated. Both buildings move independently in a storm. The floor stays flat. 12 tons of concrete cantilevering 6 feet over 57th Street. 4 post-tensioned rods holding it up.
I am on 12 tons of cantilevered concrete, 900 feet below 57th Street. 4 rods hold.
The pool water line aligns with the Central Park canopy. They surveyed that to the centimeter, deliberately. 5 milligrams of lateral acceleration at 20 feet per second, smoother than a hospital elevator. Commissioned. 10,000 sensors in the walls, watching strain, temperature, and deflection. Every 30 seconds. Forever. Every system is live. The damper is resting, and a nor'easter is crossing the Atlantic right now. The building moves 30 inches at the top. The damper absorbs 12 of them. Right now. January 2021, 78 miles per hour gusts. The building swings 8 inches at floor 75, and the damper swings back. The anchors are in tension. 4,000 kips of wind trying to lift this building off bedrock. Some wind speeds make this building vibrate like a tuning fork. The damper matches that frequency. 9 miles from the George Washington Bridge, you can see this 57-foot needle against the sky. Incredible.